this injustice. Our future is not for sale. Just say no.
This is Rev-Up St. Lucia, 97.1 FM. We're online at revupslu.com. You can watch us on Facebook, and because we have our drive coming up, you can watch that on Facebook. Just go to facebook.com/revup97.1. Again, just go to facebook.com/revup97.1. It's now time for Hard Drive. Hello there, good morning, good afternoon, good night to our listeners in St. Lucia and across the globe, especially those of you watching on Facebook. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you on the show. My name is Andre Paul, and a very hearty welcome to Hard Drive. The co-host is none other than my brother from the same mother, Tony Paul.
Good morning to you, Andre, and to all. I always forget to say good morning, Andre. I always say good morning to all the listeners and viewers right away.
Right. I'm a listener. I'm a listener and a viewer.
Good morning to you.
Yes, good morning to you.
And how are you today?
I'm well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, this morning I had a little controversial subject there, and the calls took a little while to come in.
You know how
and
it is.
When it's about to end now, that's when the calls start coming in one after the other.
Mm-hmm.
So, unfortunately, people seem to like this idea about making comments on
other people's comments, that kind of thing?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, making comments right on Facebook, or you have WhatsApp.
Yes.
But Tony, if that's what is happening, we might as well have a WhatsApp show or a Facebook show.
Yeah.
It's a call-in show. So I try my best not to go down that road. If it's a call-in show, I'd like you to call. So it seems as though a lot of people, for whatever reason now, Tony, maybe things are changing. The dynamics are changing. For some reason, people just prefer now commenting via Facebook or via WhatsApp.
That's right.
And they don't want to call in. I don't know.
I can tell you why. There are some people who just prefer to write their comments. They don't like picking up the phone and, engaging the host.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So they just drop comments. And it's probably not a bad thing, because what could happen is that with their comments, if you read it, maybe you get responses from other people as well. I'm just saying.
Response where? On the WhatsApp?
Well, yes, that plus callers may want to respond to it. Because a lot of times when, if you have you had a subject today and people may just want to talk about it, but they want to talk about it after they've heard maybe somebody else's opinion on the matter.
That's another problem again.
Yeah.
Because people are waiting to hear what somebody else has to say, and then I guess they can sort of form an opinion.
Right.
Yeah. But the one this morning, Tony, was really controversial in a sense that we're talking about hell, and is there a literal hell? And if so, what are the dynamics involved?
Right.
And if you listen, it's just all over the place, right? Everybody have their own particular idea about what hell is and how we are supposed to be in there, who qualifies, who doesn't qualify.
Right.
And what is interesting, Tony, the last caller, I was asking, how do we know definitively, right, what's going to happen? And he was saying, well, you could do your own research, or you could probably ask somebody. But then even if you ask, even if you ask a pastor or priest or whatever, you may not get an informed response.
Because we just don't, Andre, we just don't know.
But Tony, how could that be? If the Bible is our guide and everything, and, right? Here we are preaching, right? If you're a preacher and you're preaching about hell, to me, you ought to know. You ought to know about hell, right, Tony? If you're preaching about it. So if somebody asks you a question, you are supposed to give them an informed response, not one where the person has to guess. Well, is he correct? Is that the right? The caller said, after you do your research, you will kind of work it out. Yeah, you kind of work it out as to what makes sense and doesn't make sense. That's why you see, Tony, a lot of people cling to science. Because science is I shouldn't say exact, but at least science is based on fact.
That's right.
Okay, so here we are, right, proof. Here we are just believing something and we have nothing to support it.
That's right. Because according to one of my friends yesterday said, because the storybook said so. Because, Andre, these days with, I guess, maybe research and so on, just as you said, scientists and so on, they are looking and seeing that, wait a second, a lot of things that the Bible is claiming, there is absolutely no real proof.
Oh, yeah. And it's loaded of examples.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's why they just look at that as this is just a storybook, you know. But I think I like the example that, well, the point that you made yesterday, that imagine when you read this book, there is so much good that you can, if you pattern your life to, that you will basically live a good life, you know.
Yes.
You will be staying out of trouble, etc., etc. And I believe, Andre, just a little, this little part on the Bible. I believe maybe a lot of the laws were actually based on the Bible. They took the Bible things and they say, well, let's make that law of the land kind of thing.
Actually, it's a fact.
Okay.
It's a fact. Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah, most of the laws were based on the Bible.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because
the thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, and those things. Yeah.
And with that, they put laws that govern these little thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not, you know. So they put the little laws and they say, okay, if you do that, this is what will happen.
But here's the problem.
The circumstances.
There are those who will say now, these laws are not only found in the Bible. There are other ancient books that have the same information. Yeah, I've heard that already.
And some of them even say that's where they took it from to write the Bible.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. And the whole idea about it's a man who wrote it and so on, a human being who wrote it.
A human being, yeah.
But Tony, I can tell you, there are lots of things in there. You just have to go, as somebody said, by pure faith, because a lot of what's inside there cannot be proved. And that's a fact.
One of my favorite preachers used to say, for we walk by faith, not by sight.
Yeah. So there's some things you just have to accept as being so if you really believe in God, because let me give you a little example. It is said that the Israelites were in the wilderness for 40 years. Okay, someplace in Sinai where they had settled there and so on, right? And you know, Tony, there's not one shred of evidence that ever happened. I mean, you'd figure if you go in that area and you look for pottery and so on, you'd find something. Tony, nada. Nothing. Is as if Moses never existed. Right? Whoever else was there never existed. Here's another one again. The children of Israel being in Egypt for 400 years, I think, something like that.
Because I remember in a part in the movie they say 400 years you're in bondage until
exactly, right? For that long.
Yeah.
And there's nothing in Egypt today that would indicate there was ever a nation called Israel in Egypt. There's nada, nothing.
Isn't that something?
Not a shred of pottery, nothing.
Wow. Yeah. And that's the thing, you know. So people are saying these things never happen.
Yeah.
It's just stories.
There's no proof of it. There's no on the ark.
Yeah.
No on the ark. Some people say they see something on Mount, someplace in the Himalayas or somewhere like that. Yeah. They see something that looks like a ship, a wooden ship, right? And Tony, that's just fairy tale. Nobody has ever had any look anywhere to see whether that ship really existed. Okay, the ark never existed. There's no proof whatsoever.
And there's that story in the Bible.
Yeah. So again, as I said, some things you just have to take by faith. If you believe and you say, okay, well, if God says He cannot lie, even if I can't prove it, and He doesn't bother to try to prove it, I accept it.
Okay.
Yeah. So just before we move on, what is your take on this whole issue of hell and so on? Do you believe hell exists and so on?
I've never really thought about it, except times that it could just pass through my mind. I'm like, you know something, I rather suspect there is not a thing called hell. Maybe there's a separation, just perhaps there's a bit of a separation with those who do good, you know, live the good, clean life, you know, and those who just do bad. How can we be together in the same place, you know? And then again, maybe there's forgiveness after death. That's my thinking. Forgiveness after death. Remember, again, if we are to go by these stories, you know, Jesus Christ on the cross. There was what the two of them? What did they do?
The thieves. The two thieves.
So they were both thieves.
I think that's what it says.
Okay. And one of them asked Jesus, you know, in heaven when you get there, whatever, pardon me for, you know what I mean? That kind
remember
of thing. Remember me. Right. You know what I mean? And Jesus, you know, remember Jesus' words for sure, Andre. You know, as long as you just before your death you say I am sorry, boom, you're good.
Yes.
You shall enter the kingdom of heaven. So it's all of that. So it's as though your sins are forgiven at death, Andre. I am not sure. You know what I mean? I'm really, really not sure. So this hell thing, so again, in fact, the first caller said this, Andre. He said, that he does not believe there's a fiery furnace kind of thing. Isn't that what he said?
No, he didn't say that. He was talking about, because I was curious to know what form will the human body take.
Right.
In that fire, will it disintegrate and then come back? And he was saying that it'll actually be like in a spiritual form.
So we will be burning our spirits.
Right, exactly. Forever and ever and ever.
So does he believe that, or he says, nah, there's no such thing?
Well, he says he believes that. Yeah.
Oh, he believes that?
Yeah, that it'll be in a spiritual form.
But burning.
Right, exactly. So it's like an eternal flame. Right, the eternal flame just keeps burning and burning and burning. And that spirit will be in there along with Satan and his partners.
So all now, so Satan burning, or on Judgment Day, Satan will be burning.
And right now, he's free to roam and do his thing, which is to tempt people.
I know your blow would probably say, well, there's no such thing as Satan, and you know what I mean?
Yes,
Satan, tempting us and all of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, so that's my belief. There's no such thing as the burning, the fire, hell thing. You know, we are all one, so to speak. It's just that on earth, this earth, you do things that we call bad things, or you sin, you know, because again, the Bible said, these are the things thou shalt not do. And if we do them, this is your punishment. So your punishment is perhaps right here on earth. When you're dead and you're gone, you're done.
That's it. You're done. Yeah. But what is interesting about today's show, like many other shows, just a lot of confusion.
That's right.
One person is saying one thing, another one something else, and too many unanswered questions. A gentleman called, you heard him, he calls regularly. He has some very, very good questions. At what point does this happen? At what point does that happen? And what form will it take? And so, and these are very good questions.
Yeah.
And the average person, I suspect, doesn't have the answers. Because if we did, we wouldn't have all this confusion.
Exactly. We don't.
So I think, as you said, Tony, I think a lot of people maybe never gave that any thought. As you said a while ago there, never give it any real thought. So they're just curious to hear what others have to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to mention before vibing?
A lot of the folks are checking in already.
Right.
So let's go there right now. Lucita Jean-Pierre, you're there. She says, good morning, Tony and Andre. Tuesday blessings. Brooklyn, New York in the house. Thank you, Lucita. Paul St. Rose. Paul, good morning. What's the name of your brother that was in Andre's class? Yesterday we asked that, so I'm asking it early this morning.
Yes, Tony.
Peter? Peter St. Rose?
I'm not. I don't remember his name, to be honest with you.
I think it's Peter. I think it's Peter.
So where is he?
Peter probably somewhere in the States.
I would like to know, where is he?
They all migrated to the United States, from Paul to, I think, Peter. And there was one, well, I said Claudia yesterday. So, Paul, let us know, man. Paul, let us know.
Remember they used to live on the Kaya?
How you mean?
And it's like a house that's kind of perched at the top.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I don't think that house is not there anymore.
Probably not. Yeah.
Maybe somebody's probably bought the land or something.
Right. And Mikey Larcher, the late Mikey Larcher, your friend.
Live a little low down.
That's right.
That's right. You know? That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Paul, let us know. I think it might be Peter, you know.
Probably
that was his name.
I remember he was just good at maths. And in those days, if you're good at maths, you're heavy. You're heavy in those days.
For me, math and English. English was, you know what I mean? A lot of people who did well in English, with the subject English, yeah, man. All right, Sunshine Charles Haig. Sunshine says, good morning, guys. They were bloggers back then, right? They were bloggers back then. Some things were added and were exaggerated, and most people who faithfully believe don't do such evil to others. You see, reading this for the first time, so please forgive me. All right, Yaslin says, good morning, Andrea and Tony.
Good morning, Yazi.
Yes, man. Fleishy Julian Lancico, pleasant morning to all guys. Blessed love to you both. Thank you very much. All right, Paul said, didn't Andre used to lime on the bridge? Of course, Paul. We all did. The original limers were Ali Coco, Nazi. That's fellas his age, though. We call them the original limers. Hear those names, Andre. Ali Coco, of course, Ali Black, Nazi, Nazi, Carl Weeks. Remember Carl Weeks?
Of course I remember.
That's right. Andre Weeks' brother.
Correct.
That's right. And there was Lenita, their sister. Right. Chicken, which is James finished there.
Chicken?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right. Yes.
James finished there.
Right. Style. What was Style never used to really lime there, right?
Oh, Andre, that's my time.
Yeah.
After you guys left, it was the Style, Cool Runnings, myself, you know what I mean?
Oh, you're right. So I already moved on.
You guys had already kind of moved on, you know, so we took over. And Andre, after us, they were the other fellas, your blouse and so on.
Yes, they came after.
That's right. All right. Peter. So Paul said it was Peter.
So it's Peter.
That's right.
All right. So where is he? Where is Peter?
So Peter, where is... so Paul, where is Peter?
Shadow would say, I say, come here. Peter.
Peter.
Come here.
That's right. So Paul, let us know. Like I said, maybe somewhere in the States, you know. Yeah. All right. Andre's friend was Peter. Andre. He died in May this year.
You kidding me?
In Regina. Yeah. Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan. So he lived in Canada then?
That's right.
Oh my. You see that? And he died this year?
This year. That's what Paul said. Yeah.
A lot of these guys, I wonder, Tony, if these, like Peter, if he ever came back to St. Lucia, and if he did he remember his old buddies and so on, and to take the time to come and see folks, or maybe he just never came back. There are lots of St. Lucians who left back in the day and just never came back home.
That's right.
What about what's his name again? Felix. Has Felix ever come back?
Never.
See?
Yeah, but I understand there are some plans for the whole family, all of them, Mickey Mouse, all of them to come back. There are plans. They're putting things in place. Their brother told me, Dean. Yeah, he said they're putting things in place for all of them. Sisters, Tutmun.
If I ever see him, I'll say to him, Felix Mako Mami.
That's what we used to
call
say.
him. Yes, Felix Mako Mab.
Yeah. He had like Marvel comics. I don't know if you remember that.
Remember, all of us love those things.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
you had some, you know? Yeah, man.
Felix Mako Mab.
Yes.
He used to love playing
especially
marbles.
At Christmas,
Yeah.
For Feliz Navidad, we used to say Felix Mako Mab.
Yeah. I think he loved playing marbles.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and he was good at it.
Oh, yeah.
He was good at it.
That family have good talent. You know, he could play cricket. He could play football, you know, marbles. They got good talent, you know.
Last night, somebody, I think his sister sent me a pic of him, and because I remember him as a
You
very...
have that? You have that picture?
I have it in my phone.
You have to show me that.
No problem.
What?
I remember him as a very slim guy.
Slim. Yeah, slim.
But in the pic, Tony, he had actually put on a lot of weight.
That's what I heard. They
got
got big.
on a lot of weight.
Because remember Mickey? Mickey was, that's why we call him Mickey Mouse.
Yes, Mickey
was small. Mickey was small. Andrew, Mickey came back. And I hang out with him a little bit. Mickey was like... big. Big, not big fat, you know.
Yeah.
Muscular. Big man. Yeah. All right. So Paul said, okay, that Salad says, good morning, everyone. Blessings upon you both, now and always. Michelle Calendar has checked in as well. Michelle says, hi, Tony and Andrea. Pleasant good morning to you both. And Sharon Peter. Hi, Sharon. Sharon says, good morning from South Jersey.
All right, Sharon.
All right.
And let me just, empathize with Peter's family.
Yeah.
So sorry to hear that he passed. Yeah. But I remember him when he was an acolyte with us and everything.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're all close back in the day.
Definitely.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing is, not like now where people basically stay in a little cubby hole. We'd move from sort of community, like the Kaya was a community within a community.
Right.
So everybody moved around. So everybody knew everybody in that immediate vicinity there.
That's right.
Yeah,
or like you said, the meeting place would have been on the bridge.
Right, exactly.
Us coming from higher or lower, higher La Clary, you know, and the others coming from maybe lower La Clary, and then the CDC guys would come as well, and boom.
That's right.
On the bridge. And then after that, we decided where we going.
Yeah. So you had the bridge, you had VBCC.
Yes, the club.
And you had the field itself.
The field. Oh, gosh.
So that was these were the meeting points.
Oh, definitely.
And of course, on a Sunday, we're all good on a Sunday where we, this.
We go to church. we go to the Catholic church at La Clary. Became acolytes and everything.
Yes, boy.
Yeah, almost all of us were acolytes, man.
That's true. I can't think of anybody who wasn't.
Yes, acolyte Modi.
and then came the famous story of our good friend. Should I mention his name, Tony?
Boy, according to what the story is.
Yeah. Nice little story where you're supposed to have your first communion officially, right?
Okay.
You're not supposed to take your first communion without going through the rigors of the training, getting ready. Remember, we used to go to was it the presbytery?
Yeah.
The presbytery, and they would teach you this and
yes. So it was like classes. You go to classes, and then you make your first communion.
All the sins, you're supposed to be avoiding, the 7 deadly sins, and we're supposed to be learning all that stuff. Then you have to go and you have to confess your sins, things like that, right? Just getting you ready for that moment. So one guy decide to break the rules. So I was an acolyte before him. I know you know the joke already, I was an acolyte before him. So I was there with the priest. So everybody now would line up and come take the Holy Communion.
Right.
So I had the thing like a plate.
Whatever they call it.
Yeah, the plate thing. Underneath his. So when I looked at him coming, I know he hadn't officially made his first communion.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hadn't officially done it. So you're supposed to, when they say to you, the body of Christ, you're supposed to say, Amen. Amen. So when the priest gave him the Holy Communion, Christ, he said, Thanks, Father. He's probably listening right now.
Yeah, just perhaps. Yeah. I always wondered if that was true.
It's true.
But you saying you were the one.
I was the one.
I think we used to call it serving.
Yeah, right.
Serving with the priest.
I was right there.
So it was you.
It was me serving.
Okay.
And then he came up. He hadn't done what he was supposed to do.
Okay.
So he didn't know he was supposed to say Amen.
Yes.
So when he gave him the Holy Communion, he said, Thanks, Father.
with a lisp and all.
And the priest looked at him like,
for you know not what you're doing.
Exactly. The priest like, what? Thanks, Father.
Thanks, Father.
He's probably listening right now.
Yeah, just perhaps. And I think it's that same one. And to me, you gave me that joke, so I hope you remember it. That same one, when his older brother passed or something like that for St. Mary's College or something, and he said, "Can come one."
Yes, I remember that one.
You remember that one?
Yes,
yeah, can come one. Yes, anyway, did we ever live?
All right.
Okay, before we move on, Andre, I think the last one we had, I think we mentioned Sharon Peter, right, from South Jersey. Nikabi Wills, Wills, right? Nikabi says, good morning to you both. And everyone, blessings upon both, are always right. And Lucita Jean-Pierre, okay, good morning, Sister Salad. Okay. Mary Klesser checked in. A terrific Tuesday to Tony, Andre, and all the viewers.
Let's say good morning to Solita, Andre. Andre, Tony, Solita, Odlam.
That's a good one.
Solita, good morning. Right? Morning to you.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon or good night.
Yeah, you remember I've said, I think it was with Buffalo I said so. This Solita thing, Andre, are they working for me?
Yeah, I know.
Yasmin.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yasmin, Solita. I mean, Andre, honestly, I just cannot get accustomed to it. Yeah, Yasmin. Growing up was Yasmin, But enough respect, Solita. You remember she used to read news, I think, on radio, St. Lucia?
Very articulate.
That's
articulate.
Right. And she used to say, I'm Solita Odlam. Sweet sounding and everything.
Yeah, very articulate lady. And she still is. She still is very articulate.
Yes, man.
Okay, Tony, this issue of the 2.5% health and citizen security tax, this is a real thorn. I mean, it's in the side of the United Workers' Party. They don't seem to like this thing at all. They think it's onerous and it's unnecessary. It's an additional tax, right, on the people of St. Lucia. So the party is very, very serious. They've been harping on this thing for a while right now. And I remember one time I was watching a debate there in the Senate where one of the senators or acting senator, whatever he was at the time, they're not sure if he's a full-fledged senator.
Which one?
The talk show host. What's his name again? Shelton Daniels.
Oh, Shelton? No, he's not full-fledged. No.
Yes.
No.
So what do you call him?
Probably
deputizing?
Yes, exactly.
Or acting or something?
Whether acting or deputizing for somebody who was missing, yes.
I remember him, he was saying that there's nothing can be done about it. It's like a fait accompli. So making noise about it even now doesn't make any sense because it's going to be the reality.
Let me say I'm agreeing with him, by the way.
Yeah. Okay, so there's nothing can be done about it. So, but the opposition, they still feel very strongly that it's an unnecessary tax. They were saying if the United Workers' Party were, and this is the leader of the opposition saying, so that if they were in power, they would not be adding, they'd be reducing taxes. That's exactly what he said. So, and he said if people are fed up of paying more for gasoline, diesel, kerosene, cooking gas, bread, bus fares, electricity, water, and now all the other goods and services, to join an opposition organized protest march this coming Thursday, the 30th.
So it's this Thursday?
This Thursday, yes.
Okay, yes, the last day. That's right. Okay.
Yeah, so...
But, Andre, in opposition, you have to have something to oppose. That's the main reason why, you oppose. Because, and perhaps they've picked a good one, so that they can look at that and say, hey, that is oppressive, if you like, but it said what the 2.5% is about. And for a period, it's just for a period of time, for a few years. Why you laugh?
A few years, so that's a long time. A few years.
Well. Yeah. But it's you see, that's the thing. Well, I'm thinking it's necessary. All right, because of the reasons that was given, it's necessary that we put those monies in there for our benefit. You understand? Again, hospital. On certain and it is not on certain things, and it is only on items that already attract VAT. That's it.
Yeah, but Tony, that is true. It only attracts VAT. So anything that attracts VAT, even if you're already paying VAT on particular things.
Yes.
Right? Whatever that may be.
12.5.
Right,
that's what you're paying.
Right, you're already paying on that. So you now we're going to be directly affected.
Yes.
Directly impacted.
Yeah.
Because you already pay. You see, sometimes I think the framers of these taxes and so on think, well, maybe some people will not be adversely affected.
Yeah.
But at some point, Tony, down the road, right, you will be. Everybody's going to affect everybody. Even if it's not directly on things like food or bread, that sort of thing. But down the road, there are other things that you engage in, things that you have to do, things that you find necessary, like say rent for example.
Right.
Okay. Many people have had their rents increased.
Yeah.
Because of the 2.5%. So if you are renting, right, and it's true, maybe it didn't affect the food.
Yeah.
But it affects the rent.
There you go. It doesn't affect the food.
But it affects the rent.
Yes, it affects the rent. So you're
still affected.
You almost maybe it balances off. You understand?
Not necessarily, because if there are other things that, as you said, there attracts the VAT already, and you still have to be spending money on getting those things. Maybe not everybody will have to spend money on those things.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you
perhaps
will still.
Everybody have to spend money on those things that you mentioned.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
Because Tony, I think of a guy who called a talk show one time. And he said that he's taking care of his daughter, I think.
Yes,
daughter,
I remember you mentioning that.
Confined to a wheelchair or whatever. And the guy said he's not working, he has no help or anything like that. So how do you explain a 2.5% additional tax on a person like that? How do you survive? How do you thrive in an environment like that?
Well, you can't get a job. I know this sounds rough, but get a job.
But remember what he said. He said he's the only one taking care of his daughter.
Andrew, where there's a will, there's always a way. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you're right. And unfortunately, sometimes the way now could be something that is either illegal or immoral.
Not necessarily. Here's what I was thinking when I said that. That person that he's taking care of. Because we all kind of have family or close friends and so on that would probably lend a hand. Because there may be people like, let's just say, he has a sister, a brother, or somebody who is probably not really working, and he said, well, okay, I'm going to go look for a job. This is the situation. Hold this child for me while I look for a job or while I work.
Tony.
Boom. Different.
It's tough enough getting somebody to do what you just said there. It's tough enough.
Yeah.
Imagine when you have somebody now, a child, who depends on the caregiver 100%. That is why I think the guy chose to take care of his child, because he knows he has to be there for that child.
No, like I said, not necessarily. Yeah, not necessarily, man. There are other people who are in that situation too. And they say, listen, I got to work, put you here or put you there. I work and I pay the person to take care of my child. Yeah.
If you're able to do that, that's what I'm saying.
What you mean?
In other words, look at this particular guy, Tony. We don't know what his resources are. We don't know what options he has available. Maybe he has no options, no other option, meaning he doesn't have family who's willing to take, because it's not everybody who will agree. Not all families are close enough. Not all families have the ability and the capacity to take care of an invalid. You understand what I'm saying? Right? And this gentleman feels that maybe he's better placed to take care of his particular child. He feels that way because maybe of the condition of the child. So to think that everybody can be in a position where, as you said, where there's a will, there's a way. That's what I'm saying to you. Yes, that's true. Where there's a will, there's a way. And what people generally do, they'll try to do things the proper way, right? Which is to do things honestly. But it gets to the point sometimes now where they have to weigh their options. So what do I do? Yeah. What do I do? So I have to now decide based on my options, what costs, what road I'm going to take. And sometimes that road now ends up being something either immoral or illegal, unfortunately. That's just the reality. That's the reality. So when people are framing these taxes and so on, they must always look at the bigger picture. Anthony, what I find, from my experience working with people maybe who are managers and so on, they don't take everybody into account. They will pass something, they will introduce something, and then later realize that what they did there, somebody bring it to their attention. Somebody who's directly affected will say to them, so-and-so is going to happen. And they say, oh, I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Now, if you had involved everybody or looked at the bigger picture, you wouldn't have that situation. So sometimes we just tend to look at things that, like in a sort of myopic way. We look in there and this is what it is, and we figure it's a small amount that they have to pay. It's no big deal. But for some people, Tony, the 2.5% is a big deal. Yeah.
Well, we're talking about the government. Sorry, not the government making that decision, and the opposition taking it and running away with it.
That's right.
Because again, they have to oppose. So they find that it's like, oh, so they realize they're just sticking with that. You know what I mean? With that, and they're saying that, poor management of the country and all of that. And when the government itself is saying, well, this is happening, that is happening, and the country is moving. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they have to jump on the one that seems like it's a chokehold.
Yep, exactly. So let's wish them all the best on Thursday, that they have a good turnout, that people will come and show their support.
Right.
Okay, Tony, a very worrying situation at the Bodley Correctional Facility. I don't know if you're aware of that. Apparently, one of the security personnel at the BCF couldn't find his, I imagine, licensed pistol. So they've been searching for this thing, and they searched the Bodley Correctional Facility. And imagine that, Tony. They're looking for this pistol. They were able to recover, let me see if I have it there, Herat, 1,500 contraband items from the prisoners.
Yeah.
1,500. Now, what if they didn't do that sweep at the facility? That means those people, those prisoners there, were already in there for doing something, for the most part, because sometimes not everybody that's in there is guilty. Okay? People do go to prison innocently. So I'm aware of that. But the vast majority, you tell me, you have all that kind of contraband there. So you have to ask yourself a question, Tony. Where did they get those things?
Simple.
they made it themselves.
No. Some of them are. Some of them have the skill to do that kind of thing. But I guess it's people who come in to visit them, and they just pass through these things, and they...
You see why we have that problem, Tony?
Yeah.
About the C. Sutiwes Panivole. You see the problem?
Yes. So that's among some of the things.
Yeah.
And it pains me to say this, but sometimes even the people who are in there actually, turn a blind eye kind of thing, for whatever reason. Turn a blind eye.
I guess they figure maybe in their mind, it's a small item, It's just a cell phone, so we let it pass.
That kind of way.
Kind of thing. The way we are in St. Lucia already. For example, we have a supermarket, and we know some people loiter, some people fleece, beg others, and for the most part, the security personnel and management of the supermarket, they know that they shouldn't allow it.
Right.
But we allow it.
That's right.
Yeah, this is St. Lucia.
And it's strange that you would go there, because I often wonder why it is. I have a little story to give you, But why is it that it is right that the sign is right there? There are security officers out there who are supposed to make sure that these people are not loitering and soliciting.
That's
that
right.
kind of thing. Yet still, it happens.
That's right.
These guys are right there,
and they say nothing.
Maybe because of the guy's situation. You look at it, maybe you have no legs. You know what I mean? He's blind. Really rough.
He's blind. He's deaf.
That's right.
He's deaf and dumb.
So you're like, something, man. Yeah, just let it be, because, and that's one of the places, Andre, you can get, and they have figured it out. You could probably get the most, because people are coming to shop. Yeah, a lot of times they maybe don't even have enough to buy for themselves. But you know what I mean? You figure, okay, you just ask, and it just might give you something, you know? But if you go other places, you're not sure people coming there with money. You know what I mean? But for a supermarket, you have money. Why are you going inside the supermarket? But you're going to, what do you call it, window shop?
but very interesting, the banks, right? You don't get that problem, during the day.
Oh, okay, during the day.
Yeah, you don't get that problem.
But you still see them there, boy.
Because the security officers will tell them, hey, move from there.
Let me give you the joke now. Recently, I went to a business establishment, and there's a guy who recognized me, and he came in, he said, hey, Tony Paul, I came inside the business, And I'm like, hey, what's up? Good to see you, man. How you doing? Right away, he started asking me for money. Andre, instant. I said, no, I ain't really had nothing to give you right now, man. But the man must be thinking, but you stand up on the line.
That's right.
You tell me you have money. Andre, he stood up right by me. He stayed right there, and he just kept asking me. I said to him, you're bothering me. There's a security officer right there. If you continue this, I'm going to have him put you out. Made that worried me, Andre. But he stopped harassing, because it got to a point of almost harassing me. Not cursing me or not speaking loud, nothing. Just insist that I should give him money.
I just say that's funny. I had a similar experience. Yes, I was at the supermarket there recently up north. Sorry, folks. And I'm inside. Well, when I saw this guy, he looked like he's of unsound mind. The way he was walking, almost like a zombie, just walking around the place there. So he saw me, and apparently, no matter what to do, he always recognized me. He recognized me.
But that's the fellow's job, Andrew. You never see them fellas looking left, looking right, looking right. They're just looking for who?
Yes, they recognize. Of course, maybe they used to watch me since he was a kid.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe on TV.
Yeah.
So the man followed me inside, Tony. Literally followed me inside. Now I'm feeling uncomfortable because I know he's of unsound mind. And the way he's walking, like he's in a daze, he's in some other place. I suspect maybe he was on medication or something.
So he called you by name or something?
Yeah, he called me and he's following me. So I'm inside, I'm feeling uncomfortable. So if I take two steps, the man taking two steps.
Yeah.
If I take one, the man taking one step, the man sound like a police officer next to me. So I didn't feel comfortable with that. So honestly, I called the security officer. I said, officer, this guy, is following me inside there. I don't feel comfortable with that. And then the officer asked him to go outside.
Yeah.
So it just goes back to what we said, Tony, at the Bodley Correctional Facility. I imagine, because remember, the officers come from the same community, It's the same families and so on, the way we think, the way in St. Lucia think. We love each other, we care about each other, we will not do anything to literally or deliberately harm one another, and especially if we see somebody who's on, the side of, in a place where they're not really at their best.
Yeah.
So we tend now to feel a little empathy, and we allow those things. So that's why, Tony, you're right. 1,500 contraband items. And plus now you have a situation now where you have family who now love you, and I put love in quotes.
Yes.
And they figure, maybe the inmate might say, when you come in next time, bring some cigarettes for me.
Yes, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's like a comfort to them, you know what I mean? That kind of thing.
And Tony, that takes us to another question now. In terms of when people come to visit the BCF, is the searching, right? The search, because I'm sure they have to be searching people who are coming inside it. So you have to ask yourself, do they search in such a way that they're looking to find contraband? Maybe they just tap you or something like that and
probably
or let you, or because remember again the way we are in St. Lucia, they figure, I know him, I know her.
It's how should I put it? It's not the best thing, but
it's not good,
The human being in us sometimes comes out.
Because what if, Tony, that contraband would also include things like knives?
It does.
And ice picks.
It does.
Right? And if there's a riot or something in there, or two inmates get involved in a fight,
which happens a lot.
Exactly.
Yes. Because, again, to protect myself. Maybe that was the whisper, Andre. I have to protect myself, and if them fellas have their weapons on them and they interfere with me, I just have to back down. And all the other stuff that takes place there. So they figure you want to be armed yourself.
Yeah. And guess what? They didn't find the gun that they were looking for.
Right.
Which belonged to security personnel at the BCF. They didn't find it. So it's who knows where it is.
Yes.
Where could that thing be?
Yeah. I wonder what would happen to that officer himself.
He said he's still on the job.
That's what I'm asking.
He's still on the job. Yeah. But he can't account for it.
Yeah.
I suspect maybe he explained the situation. Maybe they can tell he's telling the truth.
Okay.
That's a possibility. And they just determined now to find it from wherever it may be. But it must have happened on the compound. Yeah.
Okay. But Andre, the one good that came out of it, and I think you started saying it, is that the search was done.
Yeah.
And 1,500, I think you said, plus. Yes, contraband.
Was found among the inmates.
The inmates, exactly. Just for that, because of that, the search for that weapon, or not weapon. A weapon. I think it's called a weapon only.
Yeah, if it's used for nefarious.
Right.
Yeah, but it's usually weapon, it's a license. Well, I guess it's a license.
A firearm
that is carried. Yes. I guess they would need to have a license to carry. It doesn't matter whether you're part of the security apparatus up there. You need to have a license, I guess.
Andre, that's such a good question. Maybe, hear it and hear it well. Police officers that are given firearms, just perhaps, and there are those that just it is given to them while they're on the job. Once you're off the job, you leave your firearm right there. So perhaps those, I'm just guessing here, perhaps those do not have licenses, because everybody, except if as soon as you become a police officer, boom, automatically you have license.
I'm sure somebody can message you on that one. There are lots of security officers who are listening right now.
And as you say that, perhaps there's someone who commented on the 2.5%, even affected Digicel with limited jobs on the island at time. The 2.5% is not good. As a St. Lucian living away from home, I have to send more money home right now. Somebody said that. I just thought I should read that because we were on that,
Yes.
Right. Okay. Another person. Wow. Right now is very tough for the marginalized. They control and they cannot handle anymore. Yeah, people are commenting on it. So we do appreciate you very, very much. For those of you who are on Facebook with us, thanks for the love, Andre. There's a decent number there.
Yeah.
There's a decent number there today. Yeah. Somebody said, Andre Paul, I agree with you 100%.
which part?
I guess it's still on the 2.5.
Yeah,
I guess it's still on the 2.5. Yeah. A lot of people would agree, because perhaps they don't quite understand it, the 2.5%.
Tony, what they understand is that they're spending more.
That's all they understand.
That's what they say,
And Andre, you said it some time ago. When they go to the hospitals, imagine now you go to the hospital and you have to think about nothing but getting better. You remember you said that?
Yeah.
That's where the 2.5% going to. One of the places. Just one of the places that is going. You understand?
I don't think so, Tony. That's not for the universal health care coverage.
It's not?
No, that's a separate thing.
That's separate.
As a matter of fact, since the government launched this program, they haven't given much information, as to how this thing is supposed to work. I know for sure. I sent a message for the Minister of Health. I invited him. I guess he's busy and he hasn't had a chance to, because I'd like to understand exactly what this is all about. So Tony, I imagine this would take care of things like medicine and so on, because there's some immediate needs. There's some immediate needs at OKEU and I guess other health facilities in St. Lucia.
Yes, that's right.
I don't think that's for universal health care at all.
And I am not sure exactly how it works too, but I have heard about little things, little things where it's going towards, and I know it's going towards that, and there was some that was like minus other places, so that's why I said I think it kind of balances off. Yeah. But folks are not agreeing with me, of course.
Yeah, Tony, because you have to dish out much more money, and that's the problem. And if St. Lucians were lightly taxed, then maybe you'd understand. But as the opposition clearly stating that this going up, that going up, the other going up, this is not going down. So people are feeling it.
Okay.
And the government needs to be careful when they implementing those things. As I said to you, before you implement those things, you always have to look at the bigger picture, right? It's true. It may not affect one particular thing, but it'll affect something else.
Yeah.
And down the line, some way, somehow, those people, the most vulnerable, right? They're the ones who are negatively impacted even more. Because they're already struggling, Tony. They're already struggling.
I get your point. I understand what you're saying, All right. Sarah Dupree says, hey, good morning from Toronto. So we have some listeners out there. My boy Arthur St. G's, good morning. He says, TP and AP, you all finally passed. That's why I said there are decent people listening, a decent amount today. You all finally passed the 50 live viewership mark. Congrats, slow but progressive.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Sandra Louison. Also let's see, agreed, it's easier said than done. The 2.5, right, I read that a short while ago. Let me just check for the new ones who are checking in. That opposition will keep opposing till the sky meets the earth. All right, just trying to get some more, see if anyone said anything else that we have just been talking about. Brenda Emmanuel checked in, Sophia Chandler. Also, John E. Tom. Right, that's about it. Sean Frederick, the new ones. Real Chick says, good morning and blessings. Real Chick, that's what they sign in as, And Sean Frederick says, you're so right, Andre. The people are feeling it.
So, Tony, I meant to talk about an incident that took place in Trinidad, right? There are many facets to it. Imagine a man had already lost 2 two of his sons to violence. They were killed, right? They were both killed. Then he had another son, his last son. His name was Rosario. Now, Rosario was dating a lady who was married. So I guess she got a divorce because what I read is that that's the ex. She's an ex, right? So I imagine they probably get the divorce and so on. So the guy is dating this lady who is an ex of somebody else. But apparently the ex didn't like the fact that she was dating. Maybe it doesn't matter to him whether it's this guy or another one. I don't like the fact that you're dating. You're not supposed to be dating. I can date, but you can't date.
Yeah,
a lot of us guys are like that. We feel that we have a right to do whatever we want to do to have all our fun and so on. But the lady just has to remain there like a little virgin and behave herself. A lot of us like that. So the guy who was the youngest son of this guy who had already lost two of his sons through violence was at an insurance company with the lady. I don't know what business they were transacting there, but the ex-husband showed up at the premises and he shot the lady, his ex-wife. He shot her. He shot the guy, and the Rosario guy, he died. So that's three sons that were lost violently. So this gentleman, three. Tony, I mean, that's one facet to it. That must be, and you hear these stories all the time. Even the recent story there, the young guy who died in was it Beaufort? I think the father said that there was another child that he had died under similar circumstances.
That's right.
Right. So that must be rough. As a parent, you probably ask yourself all kinds of questions. How could this happen to me? What did I do? What did I not do? Even blaming yourself for a lot of stuff. So and you have to mourn. You mourn one son, and you mourn a second one, and a third one. I mean, sometimes we have to really spare thought for these people who go through these kinds of challenges.
Most definitely.
Life is about challenges. But there's some challenges, man.
Yeah, you just question all the time.
Gosh, man.
Yeah, how is that happening to me? It's like one son, like you said, one son, and then the other son follow suit, and both of them are gone.
Yeah, and now you have a third. And you have a third one.
Yes.
Yeah.
How do you live with that?
That's rough, man. That's really, really rough. I really feel it for people who are going through that sort of these challenges, and to be a normal person in society, to continue with your life and to move on. That's rough to see. You know what it's like to raise a child? I mean, if you're really involved in raising the child, what it costs you to do that, not just financially, but your time and so on. It's a huge investment.
It is.
A huge investment.
Yes.
And to lose your children like that, that's rough. So I really empathize and sympathize with people who find themselves in that position. But going back to Rosario there and this ex-wife, and the guy shot them. So the guy shot the wife, he shot the guy, he shot the ex-wife, he shot the guy, and then he shot himself. So he killed himself. But guess what happened? Rosario died. But the lady survived.
Ex-wife survived.
She survived. She's in hospital, but I'm sure she's going to recover.
Yeah.
So partner probably thought that he took the lady with him. Yeah, and he didn't.
I like your words. He took her with him.
Yes.
Wherever it is that we spoke about earlier, wherever it is that they're going, we'll go together.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. There's a partner of mine who says that, I'm taking a few with me.
I'm taking a few with me.
Taking a few with me.
The only person he's taking is the boyfriend that he shot.
Exactly.
That's who he's taking with him.
Yeah. So Tony, let's just imagine for true that maybe the dead can see each other and things like that. Imagine how shocked he'd be to learn the wife didn't come.
That's right.
The wife didn't come.
That's right.
He's seen the partner there.
Yes. The wife didn't make the trip.
So she's there. So you see now? So you've left the lady now. True, it's true. You took away the boyfriend, right? But she's going to move on, Tony.
Yeah.
She won't stay like this for the rest of her life.
That's right.
So I don't know. That's another facet of the story again. Why some of us men refuse to understand. And it happens with ladies too, but don't misunderstand me. It does happen with ladies as well, where they feel that if you cannot be with me, you cannot be with anybody else.
Yeah. And that's sad. That's really sad. Andre, I know love is difficult. It's a really difficult thing, when you really love someone. And as you said, even with your children, that you invest so much. You invest time and money and effort, blood, sweat, and tears. And to see, well, boy, you have lost, or you're going to lose that person to someone else. You got to be strong. That's why they tell you most times, hey, have strength, man,
I've had these discussions with Tony, with Russell, Charlie, and all the other co-hosts, right? But today, What do you think is? Let me hear your take on that. What do you think is going on in the mind of a guy who just, and the ladies too, it does happen, but more so with the guys who cannot deal with the fact that the lady has moved on? Why is it so difficult to accept that, and you now to allow the lady to live her life?
In short, you know what you had, and you know what you had, and you really loved everything that this person brought out and gave to you, did with you, for you, etc., etc. All right? So to lose that almost feels like you're losing your life itself. How can you move on without that? What she, because we're talking as guys, what she brought to the table, you know? You almost feel like you'll never get that again. So I'm not speaking from experience, listeners. Yeah, I'm not speaking from experience. Let me tell you. But I think I have a good understanding of what it is. You know, everything that person. That's why you stayed there. Sometimes it's years. Remember that. Two things, Andre. If it's a lot of years, you become attached to the person. If it's not a lot of time, you just start. We just starting WAP and things so nice. We just starting. I can't afford to lose that. So it's both ways, you know.
So why then? If what you say is correct, why do we now take this person for granted or treat them badly? Because if you say it is what you have, what this person is bringing to the table, why do we show appreciation so that the person now will have no reason to leave you?
Sometimes you still have reason to leave. It's for me, it's stupid, but maybe it's reality. Andre, some fellas tell you they won't compliment their wife or woman or girlfriend too much because it'll probably go to their heads, and and they will feel. I don't know if you've ever heard that. They'll feel like they're too good for you because they're so fine and everything, and you keep telling them how fine they look and so on. And all of a sudden, you think it's only you that seems she fine. Other people seem she fine too, and other people that she may be attracted to. And I like what you ask, you know, if this person, you see this person is doing so well, you know, and you're still sort of treating her maybe not as she would like to be treated. So when she's out there seeing, other people complimenting her and so on too, because you can't be with her 24/7, complimenting how good she looks and everything, and you just taking all of that for granted as you asked, you know, and then she's like, you know something, I'm moving on. In your mind, all them compliments I give her, that's what happened, you know. She thinks she's so fine that she's better than me. She ain't good, you know what I mean? I ain't good enough for her. Andre, you hear those words? I ain't good enough for her. That is when you start to think, boy, I ain't good enough for you. Well, you ain't getting nobody else. That's right.
According to the Trinidadian soca artist, I forgot his name, you know, you ain't going nowhere.
You staying right here. You ain't going nowhere. I try to think of who sang that. Yeah.
I forgot his name. You ain't going nowhere. But you know, Tony, what I've done already, to be honest with you, and I promised myself, because I mean, let's be real here. Right? We cannot act as though we're above that kind of thing. What I've done already is to try to convince you to change your mind. I've done that.
I think we all have.
Yeah, and almost to the point where you're pleading with this person to change your mind. Even to the point, I don't even say begging.
Yes.
But you even things that maybe you normally wouldn't have done.
Right.
You end up doing that now to try to convince the person to come back. And I've found from experience that the more I do that, it seems to drive the person even further away.
Yeah.
Right? I noted that. And every time I try to convince you to stay, because only, most times I was playing the fool, right? And I admit that readily. So I tried now, because I know I was playing the fool, by the way. I know exactly what I was doing. But that stage now, I realized, oh my God, now she's leaving me now.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And it's my fault, that kind of thing. So I'm trying to get you now to change your mind, and albeit temporarily, I'm trying to act now like the way I should have acted before, right? But experience. I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah, it's a great teacher.
Yeah,
experience.
I'm not doing that anymore. I realize the more I do it, and I'm saying that for the fellas out there who are listening, don't try your best not to do that. Try to convince her to change her mind. Tony, and that's the thing. I always ask the question: where do you get the strength to allow the person to move on, even if you know deep down in your heart you do not want the person to move on? And if you feel as if you take the few steps backward, you allow it. it's like you're sealing your own fate because you know the person's gonna. It's like, Tony, you have a bird. You have a bird in a cage, and you open that cage door or window or whatever it is. The bird will most likely fly away. That's what it's going to do.
And perhaps never come back.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So that's the thing. When you get to that stage now where you know if I open that cage door or window, she will most likely not come back. And then to be man enough or woman enough to accept that this is what it's going to be. I think this is where we have the problem, and we do not know, as I said, how to get the strength, the strength that you need to have to say, all right, if I open the cage door and she decides to fly away, I accept it. That's rough for a lot of fellas.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Where do you get the strength? That's the question. Where do you get the strength?
I can answer that two ways. For me, I'll start with the Most High. I want to say pray. Meditate, pray. Lord, if this was for me, you would probably not allow it to fly away. If it is for me, give me the strength to let it fly. And if it is for me, it'll fly right back into the cage. And this time, according to Wendy Arlene, this time I'll be sweeter. Because a lot of times before the relationship breaks, they tell you what it is, But we macho. We ain't paying them no mind.
Yeah.
That's how I am.
Yes.
Check us some way.
I was king.
Yeah. Accept it. And the person telling you, no, it ain't right. I don't like it. You ain't hearing. Wow. When they go now, you realize, oh gosh, yes, maybe I need to change that about myself. Treat her better. Things that she would like us to do, maybe do them together. That kind of thing.
Anthony, I remember there's one particular instance. I mean, I was the man of the bar. I mean, a man of the house. I in control. I'm not even worrying about anything. And when I was acting aloof, and funny, when you act aloof, it's as if you become almost like a challenge to this other person.
You're right.
Right. When you're acting like you're aloof, right? You become like a and they want to rein you in because you are aloof. You're not always there available and you're around that sort of thing. That's how I was, right? I'm aloof. And a strange thing happened when the person decided now they had enough of me and they wanted to move. I remember here I am now doing the begging now and pleading and asking to come back and whatever. I'll change. I'll do it. And the person said to me, "Since when?" I've never forgotten that. In other words, since when you acting like that?
Yeah.
And I think the person found that to be a turn off. The fact that I was acting because I was aloof, as I said, I didn't care kind of. No, I didn't care. I just wasn't making a fuss. And here I am now making the fuss now, and I think that sort of kind of turned the person off. Yeah. So I drove them away even further. Yeah. So it's only by moving forward. I tell you, moving forward. Ma'am, I am not doing that again. Never. Yeah. I'll pretend like I'm strong. I said, okay, all right, that's what you want, But I mean, deep down inside, I know that's not what I want. Yeah. Because I realize if I act differently now, that'll just make you go away even further faster.
What I would do is state my case. I state my case. Okay, whatever mistakes I was making, I would love us to try this again. I'll try to change and be a different person to you. I state my case. If you decide you're still going to leave, lucky phrase, inside still have. You probably ain't the one. Regardless of how I feel, you're probably not the one. Because the same way you think you're all that, and because I've made you believe that you're all that, and you see this other person and this other person maybe it looks like they have, after 11 already, it looks like they have more than me and they're better looking than me and everything else. You want to take a shot? Go ahead. Go ahead. Inside still have. Lot kote, Andre.
Just quickly, Tony, what if the person moves on and they've been with somebody else now? Especially sexually and so on. Yeah.
And they want to come back to you?
Come back. Yeah.
It's the person's decision, meaning the individual. Like me, if it's my decision to make now, I know you've been with somebody else. Yeah, it's the individual. It's according to the individual how they think. I think you as an individual ain't nowhere.
No way star.
I'll put it this way.
Not me.
Yeah.
Just you cross that bridge. That's it for me. I mean, we can be friends and stuff. No problem. I'll be very nice and everything to you. But
if they've had
come back,
well, okay, not they've dated, just dated. Try a thing with maybe one guy, and you never know if anything happened. If let me put it straight up. If sex took place, because it's just dating, getting to know this person. And they come back and they say, but did you sleep? I guess that would be your big question. Did you sleep with him? That would be your big question, right?
They most likely will tell a lie.
Exactly. Yeah, that's exactly where I'm going.
So I ain't taking chances.
No chances. Okay. Be forewarned, my people. Yeah. So it's the individual. Yeah. It's if you can handle it, fine.
And I know I cannot handle it.
Right. Because what will happen, and you and I have spoken about this before on this program, what may happen is that you will continue to think about it.
Exactly.
And maybe tell her about it all the time.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's just unnecessary stress.
Exactly.
Okay, Tony, just one final thing. Just one final thing. Sean Diddy Combs, Tony, in more hot water. 2 more women came out now making some serious allegations right, of rape and physical abuse. 2 more. And this is happening because I think there's a law, I think in New York, where the statute of limitations is supposed to run out. Now, apparently there's this window that is available for people who had cases where the statute of limitations had already expired.
Yes.
And they're saying, okay, listen, we're still extending this just in case. This case has happened how many years ago? So 3 now. So he settled out of court with 1.
Cassie?
Yeah. So now 2 more now. Let's see what happens.
Boy, that's tough. That's really, really tough. Andre, just quickly, because people were commenting on some of the stuff that we talk about. Tony, everyone has an ex, and not all people get violent when the relationship ends. Some men are just emotionally weak, and they can't take another man enjoying what they had.
That's right.
Quickly, Andre/Tony, I found very important. This is an announcement. I found an American passport next to Palace House in the name Vicky Anderson. Miss Anderson can collect her passport at Palace House on Miku Street next to KFC. Very important announcement, right?
Just repeat that, Tony. Repeat that.
All right, no problem. I found an American passport next to Palace House in the name of Vicky Anderson. Miss Anderson, you can collect your passport at the Palace House on Miku Street next to KFC. Arthur, bring that to the police station. Arthur said, now that's there, Andre, that's it, eh? If instead of leaving it at Palace House, maybe take it to the police station, you know? Yes, so yeah. Arthur saying she's that is. Bring that to the police station on Bridge Street.
Okay, Tony, so you have a giveaway today?
Yeah, we there.
So let's go quickly.
All right, we call it the $97.1 cash giveaway. And it's time for us to give you that cash right now. The way it works, just quickly, let me let you know that we're going to ask you up to 5 questions. 5 questions. Each question is worth $20 until it reaches $97.1. If you get the first question right, we ask if you want to continue. You can keep your $20 and say, hey, I got $20, man. Hey, Christmas coming, you know? I'll deal with that. If you don't and you want to continue, we'll double it up for you. Give you another $20, which is $40. And we move on to the next question and so on.
We
have a caller
on WhatsApp. We do. Good morning, or good afternoon, good night. Hello?
How are you both?
Hi.
How are you both?
Oh, we're doing all right. How about you?
Good, I'm good. Nice to hear your voice.
Thank you.
Entertainment.
All right.
Thank you.
Where are you calling from?
Babano.
Okay, Babano.
All
and
right.
I'm sure a first-time caller. Am I right?
It is.
Okay, very good. You could be breaking up a bit, right?
Just a little
Yes,
delay. It's WhatsApp. It's a
Listening to
little
the
delay.
radio, it's breaking up.
Don't worry about it, caller. We'll be fine.
Okay,
let's go.
You ready for your first question?
I think so.
Well, I'll tell you this. It's right up your alley. Strange enough, Andre. Here's your question for $20. Who is the founder of Helen's Daughters?
Virginia Albert.
No, that's not right. That was such an interesting one. I know why she said Virginia Albert.
Babano.
That's right.
Yes. Because you said right up your alley.
So hear this name. Does Kathleen Carew ring a bell for you?
No.
Oh, yes, she's the founder of Helen's Daughters, right? And as far as I know, from Babano. She's actually from some part of Babylon.
Yeah, well, Babylon is a large community.
Very much so.
Okay, darling, sorry about that. But keep trying, all right? Don't give up. Alrighty, bye-bye. Yes, Tony.
Yeah, man. So you've heard of Keithlin, right? Keithlin
No,
Carew?
not really, no.
Really?
No.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, interesting one.
So do you know about Helen's Daughters? Is that a charitable organization or something?
No. It's like this lady who grew up with farmers as her parents, and she kept the vibe going with introducing more women, especially her mother was involved in agriculture and so on, farming and so on. So she decided, something, let's get more women involved, and she formed this thing, Helen's Daughters. That's right.
All right. What's her name? Kathleen?
Keithlin. Yeah.
All right. Good stuff, Keithlin. Okay, Tony. So thanks a lot, man, for being with us today, as always. And you coming on next. We'll be until 3 this afternoon, from 3 until 6. We're going to be having Zen, the DJ. All right. So again, Tony, let our listeners know a couple of things, that this segment of the show is going to last until Christmas Eve, somewhere around there.
Oh, yes.
And then we're going to be introducing some new stuff in the
January.
New year. And let me let our listeners know, I think it's important. We really hear you. I mean, we know that there are issues with the signal, our signal in some parts of St. Lucia. So we are working on that feverishly, okay? Feverishly, as early as probably even next week. We may even have to take a little time off air and so on to go and make some adjustments, all right, to ensure that we can get that signal as far as possible. We know we can't cover the entire island on 97.1. But we can certainly try to reach as far as we can. All right. So as I said, we know there's some issues, and we acknowledge that. So we're working on that. All right, Tony.
Definitely. Oh yes, we are indeed. I just don't want to add too much more because it's kind of late.
Yes. Okay. So stand by for more action here on Rev-Up St. Lucia. The following is a paid political announcement.
As a proud St. Lucian youth, I refuse to stand by as our pots fall into foreign hands, robbing us of our rightful inheritance.